Ladies and gentlemen, it's back. It's my first ever TCG submission. I just sent these cards to SGC not even 2 weeks ago, and they're back already. Got everything from Star Wars to Marvel to Elvis. Let's dive in and see what we got.
Hey, how's it going, YouTube? It's Ian with Good Form Sports Cards, and today I'm going to be sending my first ever TCG order, and I'm sending it to SGC. And today I'm going to tell you why I chose these cards, why I chose SGC, and ultimately like what I'm hoping to do when I get them back. So starting off here, we've got some thicker cards, and thicker cards tend to not do well with PSA. That's fairly well known, but if you're a newer collector and enjoy kind of watching the channel here for, kind of getting some beginner's tips. Beginner's tip would be to exercise caution if you're sending a thicker card stock to PSA. They're just really strict on it. They're really hard on those corners. I've had ones with great corners that just don't grade well. It's really tough to get a gem 10 in a thicker card. It just is. And that's my experience. So what I do is I'll send a thicker card to other companies. I've used CCG for this, and they've been pretty fair. This is my first submission with SGC, so we're going to see how it goes. It's a learning experience for me too. So if anyone, again, is a beginner, you stick with me here and see when the grades come back. We'll see how I did. Was this a good choice or not? You can learn vicariously through me. Let me be the expense. Let me put the money out there and see and help you make a decision on where to send these sort of cards. So here we've got a Topps Darth Vader, thicker stock. I think was it serial numbered? I don't remember, but Captain Nita. Then we've got these patch cards. We got Captain Phasma, Rey, and then the orange parallel of Chewbacca. This one is definitely numbered to 99. And this tape here is not actually on the card or holding the top loader closed. What I do on cards that I put in the top loaders for graders is I put the tape along the back, and then at the top I kind of fold over and pinch a little tab, so when they open this, they can just grab this and like pull a card out. Make it easier for the people in shipping, receiving, or research, or whoever's ultimately going to remove them from the holder. I'm trying to make it as like easy and like just be a good partner to them. So that's what that's all about. I'm not taping these cards up and pissing people off, but I also don't want to force them into the card saver ones like a lot of times I ask for these regular card stocks, because I really feel that puts a lot of pressure on the corners and the edges. So if you've got somebody like PSA, it's very hard on that stuff, and they're perhaps looking at it from the edge and seeing if there's any thickness variances, this could contribute to that. So we'll kind of rip through these. A lot of these cards are unexciting. So what I did for most of these TCG cards were ones that I looked through and they had very minor flaws. So I thought they're probably not going to gem 10 with anybody, but I do think they could get a 9.5 with SGC, whereas if I paid $15 bulk to PSA and get a 9, or I paid $12 to SGC and get a 9.5, there's more resale upside and there's less cost involved in that. So that's my thought process here. I'm not expecting anything outside the thick cards to gem. If it does, then that was just me being very, very strict with my pre-grading, and I'll take any gift I can get. If any of these 10, I would be stunned, because a lot of these have dark borders, and even if they look really good on the front, as soon as you flip them, there'll be a little bit of chipping or paper loss in the back. So always make sure to check the back. I feel like grading companies as a whole are a little bit more lenient with the back. Like it might be like 70-30, where they're like really focused on the front because that's the eye appeal, that's what you look at. So like if the centering on the front's good, but it's 60-30 on, or 60-40 on the back, they're a little lenient on that, versus if it was 60-40 here and centered back here. But make sure you check the back. A lot of times that's where the dimples that people don't see are. That's where the roller marks are, things like that. You really have got to take the extra time if you don't want to waste your money grading cards that really shouldn't be graded. So we got a Luke Skywalker sticker. We got some of these Topps. These are, I believe, 2013 or 24. I don't remember the year. It was in the 20 teens, but low-end cards are selling for like $1 or $2 raw. but I got the ones with the more famous rivalries and characters, like anything like Luke, Darth Vader. They sell really well. So I'm grading these off, hoping that these get, here's Han Solo and Leia, but those are all ones I'm expecting 9s or 9.5s. And really the price point is like, get that 9 or 9.5, sell it for $30. That's really what the move is for most of these. Here we have a lot of the purple Starlight parallels. These sell, you know, depending on like the scenario, anywhere from like $2 to $5 raw. They're just all over the place. I've got a chunk of them here that these would grade really well. Didn't have a lot of paper loss. Centering was good. Surface was good. And I'm expecting 9s, 9.5s on those, same sort of thing. I'll put them out there. Somebody that's looking to just have higher graded cards, higher graded set. There's a certain scenario they want to collect, whatever it might be. I'm just trying to capitalize on that and turn a $2 card into something I can make $9 or $10 off of. This card, along the lines of the thick cards, it's an acetate card. It's Captain America. This is a 2015 Marvel Retro. This is a retro of the EX 2000 or 2001s or whatever. These acetate cards also grade really tough with PSA in my experience. Like cards where, like I understand with the acetate there could be just the littlest little mark and it kind of just removes the picture. It's just a little pinprick. Like if you hold it to light comes through. And I've had cards where I thought like Donruss Clear Vision and stuff where I spent way too much time looking at a $5 raw card because I didn't want the surprise grade. So I'm like, you know, I believe it was a Justin Jefferson or a Trey Lance, and I sent a couple of those off a few years ago. Spent a copious amount of time looking at it, back and forth to the light, to looking at every little thing, and it came back like an 8. And I just decided like, okay, you beat me. I'm not sending them there anymore. So I have an acetate card. This Captain America, even in like a 7, is selling for like $250, $300. It's a pretty sought after card. Honestly, I didn't even know what it was. It came from that consignment collection. It was like hidden in a box. Like it was just raw, like no holder on it, nothing. I think this guy literally just bought like a couple of retail packs from like a Walmart or something, stuffed them in a box, and then they just turned out to be like really valuable. So that's one where I just want to get it slabbed. It looks super clean. Like in my mind, I think it's like a 9. There's one edge that I just don't think is like as sharp as I want it to be. So I'm not gonna sit here and like wish for a 10 like I am, but like I'm not gonna be disappointed when it doesn't happen. But it probably would be worth more in a PSA holder. Like if they both get 7s, sure, but like I don't know what PSA is gonna do with it. This one could be like, we'll give you a 4 randomly, we'll give you an 8. I don't know. I've just never had good luck with the acetates with them. So this is personal preference. I don't think this is a scenario where this is going to add the most value, but I think it gives me the best shot at a consistent, fair grade. Here we have a Star Wars sticker auto. It's nothing particularly valuable raw. It's selling for like $10. So it's something where I just want to get it slabbed, make the grade. A lot of this stuff sells really well too. We had a lot of Panini Americana cards, but just the condition was just bad. I don't think it was that he didn't store them well. It's just, I think the set's quality control is just bad. But this George Bush card, I think, is going to get at least a 9. And any like presidential stuff sells really well. So when I find those stuff, you'll see like with like Ginter cards, I'll grade the old presidents and stuff like that too. And for whatever reason, they sell well. These last cards are Elvis press pass canvas cards. It's like a big Elvis collection, and I tried to get the ones that had good Elvis pictures but that graded really well. These I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few 10s. I really looked at them close, and ultimately I just sold them here because of the price point was lower. But those cards virtually had no surface issues. It was really like what was going on with the corners, and the corners were just not great on most of them. I have about 5 more here that probably would get like 9.5s, but the centering was just kind of wonky. These are the ones that kind of had everything. Elvis is another iconic person. He's just got a cult following where like if there's something valuable and collectible you make available for him, somebody will buy it. So that's the intent here, is to get a couple Elvises to make a little money. They're virtually commons otherwise, but So that's the TCG order here. We've got a lot of Star Wars, a little bit of Elvis, a little bit of Marvel, but gonna send in this order, and as soon as it comes back, I'll do a blind reveal here with you guys so we can see exactly how we did. And we're back. 18 days have passed since that hard cut in the camera just now. We've got the TCG order back from SGC. This is, I guess, tied for my first submission with them. I sent this along with a sports card submission. This is really my first ever TCG order. I've never really sent in non-sports and games and haven't really had a lot of exposure to that in my collecting time. Usually if there's stuff that I want that's TCG, I just buy it and I don't really buy the packs and buy the collections and stuff. But a lot of these were part of a consignment I'm working on, and I thought I could add some value by grading some of these. A little bit of it is somewhat of a test to see how SGC grades paper cards, acetate cards, thick cards, that sort of thing. I'm trying to get a feel for them as well. So I thought that this was a good opportunity to take care of a couple birds with one stone, so to speak. So here we've got the cards back. It's a 28 card submission, I believe, from SGC. I'm expecting a lot of 9s and 9.5s. I did a TCG submission at the same time as this with PSA when they had their special right before their price hike. And I think it was the 17th was their price hike. So I submitted those cards under the $15 to PSA, and the cards that I was expecting 10s on went there. So I'm not expecting any 10s in this return, mostly 9s and 9.5s, hopefully. There is an acetate card in here that I just put 8 question mark on my pre-grade. It is a blind reveal. This is my favorite part of what I do with sports cards is blind reveals. It's, I know people probably think like, oh, it's really hard to not peek at the grades. It's not for me. This is like an experience I only get here. And it's like so addicting. It's like a measurement of how good you are at what you do. You know, how good are you about sourcing your cards and prepping them and examining them, and then you assess a pre-grade to it. Is it accurate or are you completely crazy? And then it's like opening packs too. It has that element of turning over a 10 is like, it's like when you're thumbing through those old 90s packs and you can see that insert in there and you're like, oh god, even if it's a 1 in 6 insert, that's not the greatest, but you're like, man, please be a Griffey. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't, nothing against it, but like, I don't want the Ellen Trammell All-Star card. I want that Griffey, So like, it's like that, you can only get it. It's like the adult version of that. And I like that you can also influence the outcome a little bit. Packs are there's still randomness to it, which I love that. I still like to rip once in a while too, but it's like you get the same feeling. I don't know how to explain it. Those of you that have graded, or it maybe even like opening like a maybe one of those mystery packs or something. I don't know, but it's just something I love. It's my favorite. Let's see, where's the... So it's not, I guess the story I'm trying to tell you is it's not too hard for me to hold out for a true blind reveal. Share it with you guys. I like the surprises. If we kind of sit here on camera and get like an authentic reaction to whatever it is that I might be revealing. I'll try to looks like they put plastic on the edge ones, which I assume is just from the rubber bands, but so far impressed with SGC. I like their customer service. I like their packaging, their shipping, everything was really good. So I had mentioned the timeline. I had shipped these on the 24th, priority mail. They arrived on Monday the 27th, got checked in right away, got a confirmation email that my package arrived, and I'm thinking, oh, cool, they said 5 to 10 days, so I'm like, I'll check on it in a little while. I got a phone call that Friday, which I think was the 31st, so that was like 4.5 business days in, and they told me that some of these cards that I sent didn't fit in their TCG special. It's totally my fault. I didn't read the terms, but it was strictly for like just TCG, not non-sport cards. And I had included almost entirely non-sport cards, so I had to pay a $3 card difference, which is fine. I paid it right there on the phone. They took care of it, sent me a confirmation email. But it was awesome. I've never had like a grading company call me to fix a problem. Usually they dump you an email and give you a ticket number, and you get to it when you get to it. So before we get to the cards, their service so far has been very good. Very pleased with that. So here's a Topps Star Trek card. This is a Captain Nita, and I believe it was a mem card. They're pretty thick. I just had like a 9 for all the mem cards. They looked really good. None of them were what I thought was gem quality, so I say like 9 or 9.5. But they're thick cards, so I've never had like success sending thick cards to PSA, so here we go. And a 9.5, so that's pretty cool. And it wasn't a mem card. It's actually like this masterpieces, but they're still thick. It's a thicker stock, you can see. 9.5, I'm pleased with that. Here's a Luke Skywalker sticker card. Stickers again. I'm not trying to bash PSA. This is not a PSA bash video. I use them. I use the registry. I love the registry. I love the cards in my collection. It's nothing against it. It's just sometimes I don't understand what they're looking at, and that could just be my fault. But whenever I send them stickers, they're like 6 or 7 always. So I sent a couple stickers here as well. The Luke got a 9. I'm fine with that. Even if I wasn't, what can I do? So I believe this was like the refractor auto, I think. I had this one at pre-graded a 9. It looked pretty clean. And it got an 8. So this one, I believe it was a sticker possibly as well. But it was clean, and the auto looked pretty good. Usually they'll throw the auto 10 on there, and they'll do that automatically. So there must be something about it that is not a 10. I don't know if there's a little smear. Maybe she went off down here or something off the sticker. That's really why I sent it there, is I wanted the dual grade. I thought it looked cool with like the 9, 10. I thought the auto would 10, but it did not. So we have another thick card. So this is just like the Captain Nita card. It's a thicker masterpieces. Darth Vader, I had it at a 9 or 9.5. And it came back at 9.5. Okay, here's the mem card. So this was the Captain Phasma. I had this at a 9 or 9.5. It was pretty clean for black edges and black borders. Just because it's a thick card, I just assume I just can't 10 those. Okay, so I did 10 one. But again, it's black borders, both sides, all the way around. Really tough card to gem. I think this is just a regular one, so it was not serial numbered. But first 10 will actually set you off to the side. We'll see if we get more than one. I wasn't expecting any, so that might be the lone wolf here. So we got Ray here, the same card as that. It's one of those mems. And that got an 8.5, and I had it a 9 or 9.5. And I'm not shocked with all the black on here. I'm not surprised at all. And this is the one, if I was gonna get a 10, I wanted. It was a Chewbacca. And it's an orange mem card. I think it's numbered to 99, so this was definitely the numbered one would be worth substantially more, I would assume. And he got an 8, so that's odd, because on my pre-grading, like, all those patches seem the same, and it's like 8, 8, 5. I'm like, okay, and then all of a sudden one randomly gets a 10. So we'll take it. So here we had a couple Elvis canvas cards. He had a whole stack of these in the collection I'm selling. And the centering was the issue with these. You can see here the bottom on the back is not great. I'm expecting 9 or 9.5s. I think I spent like 4 of these I sent to PSA, I think, expecting 10s. So, well, this one got a 10. For whatever reason, I did not send this one to PSA. I think it was the centering. But the corners were really good. And it's really the corners on those cards are the tough ones. Those canvas cards, you gotta look close. I can't stress enough, like, if you just eyeball your corners, you're gonna get a lot of 9s, you're gonna get a lot of 8s. You really gotta take the time to look at them under magnification, either get a jeweler's loupe or get a scope. Sorry for the cut there. I don't know if you heard right before, but my furnace kicked on, and we definitely did not want to hear that while I was talking. My audio is already entry level enough. So back to the Elvis cards. Here we have another canvas. I sent in, I think, 5 total. expecting 9 or 9.5 on all of them. And that one got a 9. Is it just the picture, or like, why is it so blurry? I guess maybe it is the picture. Okay. Another Elvis card. And you got a 9.5. What the heck is going on here? There we go. One more Elvis card. And another 9.5. So, consistent here. Same card, same grade. And this should be the last Elvis, I believe. Ooh, Elvis horseback riding got a 10. So, take that. Take every 10 I get in this order. This is a Panini America George W. Bush. I had 9 or 9.5 in this one. It's pretty clean. Just a tiny bit of chipping. It's a darker border. 9.5. So I will happily take that. Let's see here. I had a run of top Star Wars cards. I went through a lot of these and I sent in the rivalry cards. And then I also sent in some of the purple Starfield parallels. They're not particularly great. It's just the purple Starfield sell for a little more. They're about $2 a parallel, give or take, depending on which one you have. Some of the more sought after ones can get up in the $6 range raw, and some of the other ones, you know, they might be $1.50 to $2. But these are more or less for someone that's just looking to get into some better Star Wars cards, but not break the bank. Hopefully, just add a little variety to the store here, and maybe add value to a card that was $2 or $3. Maybe I profit $5 or $6. Nothing huge. Here's a purple Starfield at a 9.5, and that's great because I'm expecting 9s or 9.5s. I don't think these would be extremely hard to 10. I would think they have that brown stock, and any chipping really shows on the front. Maybe not with the naked eye, but as soon as you magnify it, it just pops right away. It's like purple and then brown. So, ooh, that one actually got a 10. Wow. But if you really zoom in on these corners here and the edges, every imperfection shows. And some of these are really clean. I'm just very hard on my cards, and I don't want to waste money. I'm not going to send anything I don't think is going to, you know, I don't send an 8 and go, well, you know, maybe a grader won't see this. Maybe they'll push it. And it's like, no, I don't play that game. I'd rather just sell it raw. Another 9.5. Another 9.5. Great. Right in line with what I'm hoping here. Another 9.5. We're rocking and rolling. This is exactly what I was hoping to do with this order. Just tons of 9.5s would be ideal for me. Again, I'm not thinking I'm gonna gem, so that's why I sent them here to benefit from the 9.5. So the plan is executing perfectly. Oh no. So here's an 8.5. Right as I'm pumping it up here, we see one of those, but another 10. So I'll take 2 10s and 1 8.5. We'll just play that game. Just give me like 2/3 10s, and you throw some 8.5s in there, and we'll be happy. Here are those rivalries cards. This is Vader and Princess Leia, and 9.5. Again, I'm not expecting any 10s in those. It's 9s and 9.5s almost exclusively. 9.5 on. And another 8.5. Darn, that's on Luke and Vader. That would have been a cool one to get a high grade on. Here's the Captain America acetate. Now, this is the one I'm like hoping is an 8 or better. I believe this is one of those where you look at the sales and they're very sporadic. There's not a lot that hit the market, but when they do, sometimes people just like not know what they have, and they'll do like a buy it now, $49.99. It gets like snapped up right away. And then you'll see an auction go for, you know, 210, and in a buy it now again, it'll be someone will know what they have and put $2.99, and someone will snap that up, and it's like, I don't really know what the price point is, but I know this card in an 8's over $200 consistently, so that's why I wanted that price point. The card is really clean for the most part. I'll show you when I flip it over. This design is actually raised on the front, and it looked like something snagged in there at one point. There was just like a little fiber in there, and like I couldn't I couldn't get it out. I wasn't really going to go after it with the tweezers and like make a mess, so I just left it. But there was like down here, there's just like a tiny bit of fiber stuck in there, but it did get an 8. It's a super cool card. And that thing should actually probably pay for this submission, honestly. I mean, it was, I think it was, with 26 cards. So it's just under $400 for the submission. So he'll take care of most of it. But here's our last Star Wars card, and this is a 9. This is Hans and Leia. So get the 9 there. I'd say the highlight for me is probably the Captain America. That's a pretty sick card, and one I did not know what was going to happen. So to get the 8 in that one's really going to pull the order. The rest of these 10s here should sell nicely. I think these purples, I don't know what they're, maybe $50. I don't know, these Elvises, he'll always sell well. And the patch card, they got a 10. Wow. So actually gem rate was like 25% when I was expecting it to be 0. So I'll take that as a win. My first TCG order is in the books here. I had fun with it. It was interesting grading cards I don't normally look at. I just had to kind of take knowledge I knew from sets that are similar and assume everything else just crosses over and is the same, and it is for the most part. I really enjoyed my experience with SGC. Thick cards are still a little bit up in the air, but that could just be me. I can't say I've ever been particularly confident in them. So I think, what did I have, a 8, 8.5 and a 10, so nothing wrong with that. I'll take that. I was going to send them there anyways. They're cards that I wanted to have slabbed in order to sell them. So yeah, that's a submission. I'll definitely be using SGC again. But if you stuck this video out all the way here to the end, you're a real one. I appreciate you. I appreciate your support. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around, listening to my banter. Let me know if you enjoyed this format of the video where I have the kind of the pre-grades and I talk about it and let you know what I'm expecting before I actually get the grades. A lot of people will record them in a different format, or they'll just have a piece of paper there as they're revealing their cards and saying it's their pre-grade. But anyway, that's the video. That's all I've got this time. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's been a long one, but until next time, we'll see you.